Welcome back, WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and WNST.net. Been a little while since we visited with this guy. Certainly running around football time and the Super Bowl and then coming back and all the winter through this thing. It has been soccer season. He's a little hard to pin down this time of year. Running the Harrisburg Heat, as well as our dear partner for well over a decade now at Fremont Mortgage. We welcome Carl Delmont back onto the program just in time for the end of soccer season. Hopefully the beginning of home sales season and mortgages and all that stuff. Happy spring to you, Carl. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Happy spring to you guys.
Well, I know you tweeted earlier in the week about soccer and the U.S. team and wanting fair pay and all of that stuff. And I know we get soccer on the brain and all that stuff, but certainly in your industry, and all I could think about was from the men's and women's and how much money the game makes or doesn't make in certain cases. What you and Ed have tried to do here locally is build soccer. And there comes a point where somebody's making money and somebody's not making money, and it's owners against players or players against owners. This was an interesting thing, I think, the gender side of this, on top of Title IX and everything else we go through with boys and girls sports and men's and women's sports. And I know your young ladies play a lot of soccer and looking for those scholarships as well. It's an interesting argument to be having here in 2019, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we look at Title IX. I mean, you're starting to see a lot more girls lacrosse programs starting over the country, so a lot of girls are gravitating towards that to get those scholarships. But, you know, there's still a lot of opportunity in soccer as well, but it's great. I mean, Adidas came out the other day and said, look, we're going to pay the ladies in World Cup the same we gave the guys in World Cup. So I think that's amazing, and I think it's a great step. I think it's great publicity for them. But, you know, you also saw that the current U.S. Women's National Team roster collectively sued, FIFA and not FIFA, but U.S. Soccer, for equal pay and everything else. So, you know, when you look at when they practice, you know, it's like, you know, upper class versus lower class, the way it's treated. I mean, they don't play at the same kind of facilities. They don't make the same amount of money. You know, you look at MLS and what those guys get paid versus what the ladies get paid for pro soccer. And I get it, you know. Look at Atlanta; they're selling out. Toronto, Portland and Seattle sell out. 60,000, 70,000 people at a game, and they're lucky to have a couple thousand at a women's game. But it's still, I think, what the women have done for the sport in America. You look back to Brandi Chastain with that iconic, ripping off the jersey in the sports bra after she scored the winning PK. What was that, 99? And
it's been 20 years. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like yesterday. And look, I've been on the air that long, Carl, so I've been here from the beginning, and I remember the aftermath of that. I remember Brandi Chastain visited a soccer store in York Road, and you could not get up York Road that day. I mean, because kids, daughters, people like you, I mean, you were considering having daughters 20 years ago when they came along. This sport was built that you have loved all your life, and you've taken, your kids, other kids. I mean, it's become a driving force in your life, soccer, and especially on the ladies' side because of your offspring, right?
Absolutely. And that, Chastain, you can tell, you look at the explosion of girls playing soccer after that whole, ordeal when she won and did those things. And then, Mia Hamm helped people, before that. And, then the girls since, with Rapinoe and Tobin Heath and, all the players now, more and more girls are starting to play the sport. And again, I mean, I'm biased. I love the game. I think it's an amazing game and it's fun to play. And, even indoor soccer, it's a sort of a version of the outdoor game. It's so exciting. I mean, you look at these games and see Baltimore played Kansas City and they were way ahead and Kansas City almost caught up. A lot of scoring. I always say don't blink because you watch indoor soccer. If you look at your phone for a minute or do something, you're probably going to miss a great play. So I think it's a fast-paced version for Americans who want timeouts like football and don't like what some people call the boring outdoor game where there's not a lot of scoring. You have to understand the game for the strategy, but I just love it. As you know, it's part of my life, and I think it's a great sport, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Give me a little primer of where we are right now with the league and where you are, where the Blast are. Folks can go to Towson. Obviously, you own the Harrisburg franchise, have brought some great Baltimore Dundalk guys as well with the Heelys to doing what you're doing and trying to move that league forward. I mean, there are a lot of leagues out there, indoor football and the lacrosse and all sorts of things going on. You've elected to be involved in the soccer soccer side of this. By the way, Carl, I almost tweeted at you and at Ad Hale. I went through all my old tickets, right? I've been doing that the last couple of weeks. Luke and I found my Baltimore Blast ticket stub from 1980 from the first Baltimore Blast game I ever attended. So,
wow.
Yeah. I mean, old school Blast stuff that I probably should take over to Ed and to the office because of all they've been through. But now we're talking 40 years here, indoor soccer in this area. Where is it? Where is it heading? And I know you're amongst the leaders in this department.
Yeah, I mean, look, the sport's gone through a bunch of changes and morphs and, everything that's gone on, many acronyms and everything else. But, I think right now, there's still a lot of work ahead, but there's some good things going on. We have a commissioner who, he doesn't have a team, so there's no true bias or anything. And, he's trying to lead us forward a lot of things. So I think that the sport itself is growing. We're seeing the attendance numbers have been up in a lot of areas. There's a couple of teams that are still struggling with attendance, but I think they'll get it. The game, San Diego brought in Landon Donovan, and that got us not just national, but international news. So the sport, we definitely have a spotlight on us, and it's, hopefully it's our turn to shine. We'll see what happens. We're starting to see, Ed's dream of American Hockey League teams becoming part of this. So the AHL Comets up in Utica purchased the Syracuse franchise and rebranded it as Utica FC. And
they're good. Literally, they knew what they were doing up there, right?
Yeah, I mean, Syracuse was a good team before. I mean, they made the playoffs last year, so they brought back pretty much that entire team, and then added a few players, and they're doing very well. The strategy behind that is they own the arena, so when the hockey team's away, they can have a soccer team play. They already got the place, right? They got 23 people in the front office, so they don't have to do anything there. They sold out, I think, on the hockey side, I think 11 straight seasons, so they got a database of diehard fans. So if you get 20% of them buy tickets, you're ahead of the game. And, the rest of it just seems to make sense. So we'll see if more AHL teams decide to follow that suit or purchase other teams, whatever happens. But I think that's a good, inroad for us. And, I'm optimistic. I think things look really, really good. It's just, some people think our sport is, minor league or whatever else. But I say, so what? You know what? You go to a, Frederick Keys game, and I bet you have a really, really good experience because the players are talking to you and everything else. You go watch the Orioles, and, if you're lucky, one of the players smiles at you. So that's the experience. It's a fun family experience. It's affordable, and it's entertaining as anything. I mean, I just love it. What I love the most is bringing people to our games who've never been to a game before and just watching the expression on their face. And when the game's over, like, oh my God, how did I know about this? I can't wait to come back. And I think that's the best selling point of all of it.
Well, that's how my dad felt about it in 1980, literally, right? That's how you felt about it when, you were going to games. And back in the 1980s, my buddies and I were getting on buses and going down to games. I called Blast games and Spirit games on the radio for a number of years as well as promoting it. I've always felt like it was there, but I'm always waiting for the next thing to happen for the league. And I love that younger people are playing and that it's something that they're interested in as well. And I think we all want to see local things grow. And I know you've invested your life in it. Carl Delmont here, Fremont Mortgage. We got the mortgage side of things as well as the soccer side of things, what you're doing at Fremont. Give me a little spring primer on where the market is right now in buying and selling homes and how your industry's changed into 2019.
Well, yeah, I mean, the big thing, and we've talked about this ad nauseum in the past, but, inventory has been a big hurdle. There's more people looking to buy than there are homes for sale. And we're starting to see that ease up a little bit, not to the levels needed. But one thing we are seeing is in some markets, it's changed from a seller's market where the seller can, say, nah, I want more money, to now not really a buyer's market, but somewhere in the middle. And I think that's healthy. So what we're seeing now is that, if you're going to go out and buy, you definitely want to have a pre-approval. Get pre-approved first. And when you're even thinking about buying a house, the first thing you should do is contact a good lender, have your credit pool, take a look at where you are, find out if there's a couple things you can do to fix that credit. And, because if you can get a little bit higher score, it means it's going to be a better rate for you.
How long does it take to fix one's credit? I mean, it just honestly, and if there's some barrier that you're at a number and you need 15 or 20 points, what's the reality of cleaning that up?
If you're talking 15, 20 points and your credit overall is decent, you might be able to fix it in literally a day or two.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You have to pay. you have to pay the bureaus like $25 per trade line per bureau for what's called a rapid rescore. But if there's something on there that, like, say like you call and say, oh wow, I'm going to buy a house and your credit score is 700, and you want to be 720. Well, maybe look at your credit card. Maybe if you pay down the credit card by $150, that'll get you the limit that all of a sudden that ratio puts you up 20-something points. So obviously you could pay it and wait 30 days for it to report again, and then we pull your credit again, or you could pay it, get proof you paid it, send that proof to the credit bureau, do a rapid rescore, have it right away. But we have other people that, it could take 6 to 12 months, depending how severe the credit is, if they're coming out of a bankruptcy or, they've had a divorce and a lot of their credit cards got, maxed out or paid late or whatever the case is. But it really depends. But, we talked about this before, pre-approval is the best you can get. A pre-approval is basically the underwriter looks at your tax returns, your pay stubs, your W-2s. They look at your credit report, do everything, and they underwrite your file up to the point that they possibly can without having the appraisal, the home inspection, and a couple other things. So it's basically like ready to go. Whereas a pre-qualification is you just call up and say, hi, my name's Nestor, here's the Social Security number, here's how much I make. And you get a pre-qualification based on the number you told the loan officer. Now, you may make $60,000 a year, but you may have $350 a month in deductions for child support. Next thing you know, your ratios are off. So pre-qual is a little bit risky. And I've got 2 great stories that just happened actually this past week. We had a couple that was working with a realtor, and the realtor said, hey, the house you're looking for everything you want, is going on the market. I got a wind of it early. They're taking offers on Sunday, and this was Saturday night. They called their loan officer, no answer. Texted them, no answer. Emailed them, no answer. Tried it again Sunday, nothing. So they called their realtor in panic. He's like, why don't you call my friends at Fremont? They called, guess what? They got a loan officer right then and there who then took the information, got them a pre-approval, not just a pre-qualification, within half an hour, and they got the deal. And they told them, wow, we would have lost that house because the guy from the out-of-state lender wasn't returning our calls and wasn't returning our emails. I guess, he doesn't want to work on weekends. We work 7 days a week for our clients. The other one was a client who was buying a house, and they made an offer, and the seller's agent took the 4 offers to the seller and said, okay, here's the offers. Here's the one with the most money. Here's the second one, and it's from Fremont. Here's this one. He goes, take the one from Fremont. He goes, but it's not the most money. He goes, I don't care. I know the loan will close with those guys. He goes, how do you know that? He goes, I've been listening on the radio for years. I know what they can do. And so the seller's agent called back, and he told the guy who had the highest offer, he goes, wait a minute, we had the highest offer. He said, yeah, but he had the wrong lender. And that was like, I was like, wow, I got to use that. It's true. I mean, the people who know what's going on, the realtors out there know that, if they get someone coming in at a pre-approved and it's an out-of-state bank or an internet bank or something like that, they're a little bit hesitant because experience dictates the loan probably is going to have issues. But if you deal with someone local, competent, has been around a long time and knows how to get the loans done, that's the end result. It's like anything else. If someone says, hey, I'll pay you more, but I can't guarantee, I'll show up. Well, I'd rather pay someone a little bit less and they're going to be there because that's the bottom line. You want results. So
Carl Delmont here at Fremont Mortgage Group. You can find them at Fremont.com. You can find him hanging out doing the soccer thing as well with the Harrisburg Heat. And, of course, you're still working with the kids as well, right? I mean, the Celtic clubs, I was at an event. Where was I? I was at Fellowship of Christian Athletes last week with John Harbaugh, and I saw a couple of cars with your stickers on the back, with the Celtic stickers on the back of them.
Yeah, that's cool. I love seeing those things. Yeah, it's great. We had my girls had a tournament this weekend down in Virginia. It was a crazy weekend with the weather and everything else. But one of the things that I love about the club is like right while we were playing, the 03 boys, Mike St. Martin's team, and they're really, really good. They're ranked internationally. They were warming up, getting ready to play, and the coach told them, hey, guys, why don't you spend about 10 minutes watching the girls? And they're sitting sort of near me, and I can hear them talking, oh, wow, look at her shield. Oh, that was a great pass. Oh, wow. It was really cool to hear these guys who really, really good team complimenting our girls. So when it was over, when they were playing, I said, hey, after we did a little post-game speech, I'm like, girls, if you can, if you don't have to rush home, hang out here. Let's spend about 15 minutes cheering these guys on. And, eventually we all to go because it was Sunday. And they're like, hey, coach, let's just do a big cheer for them. So we all yelled, 1, 2, 3, let's go Celtic. And you saw the boys on the bench like get up and smile. And it's the kind of camaraderie that you really need. And it's a great culture with the club. But, yeah, they're doing great. I mean, the club was formed in 2013, and they have 6 national championships, which is unprecedented. So I'm just proud to be a part of it and hope that we continue to grow. And, I think we're doing great things there. But I'm with you. When I see the stickers on the car, I'm like, wow, that's cool.
Carl, I shared my dad's 100th birthday was last week, so I shared a bunch of pictures of my dad, and so many of the pictures of my dad are with teams. I played Pop Warner football, I played Little League baseball, I was a bat boy, in Colgate, I played Little League in Eastwood, I played bigger Little League in Berkshire, and I have all the pictures with my dad, and I thought about that, and I looked through some of the faces. John Rollo was on my baseball team when we were kids, and
was he big then?
Yeah. He's just standing in the back row, and you can see, you can tag it and see these lifelong. Barry Stitz and I played Little League baseball together, so at Eastwood. So there are these lifelong friendships that you keep, but it really there is something even 40 years later looking back on those pictures and saying, I'm glad I played sports when I was a kid. Really.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I mean, the old saying, sports builds character and it reveals character, but I think it's great, but the kid has to, love it. Sometimes, you get parents that are living their lives vicariously through their kids, and they put all too much pressure on them or the refs or whoever else. And, bottom line is, let sports teach the kids responsibility. Let them teach about teamwork and sacrifice and discipline and all the other things that are going to serve them well when they become adults. If you continue to coddle them and make excuses and everything else, that's not good, because when you get in the real world, it's not going to work that way.
I was going to make a joke and say, look at how it worked out for me. Carl Delmont's here. He's at Freedmont.com. You can find him there, and the Harrisburg Heat, and, of course, sponsoring what we do here at WNST.net. Appreciate you, Carl. Take care of yourself. We'll see you on a soccer pitch nearby, and hopefully see you with Coach Billick next month. Appreciate you.
Sounds good. Also, I got to throw in that MLS number, 2893.
Oh, we got to throw that in there. I always write that down, 2893. There it is. Carl Delmont, Freedmont Mortgage, joining us here. You can find me out in the buyatoyota.com audio vault 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world on your mobile device by downloading the TuneIn radio app. We do come in crystal clear from anywhere in the world. I am Nestor. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST, Taos, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.